If you could design the perfect road bike tire, would it focus on speed, having a super low roll-in resistance, or would it prioritize puncture protection? What if you could design a road bike tire with both? I've tried dozens of tires, and just like you, I read and watch reviews, I ask friends for recommendations, and I read bicyclerollingresistance.com like it's the Holy Bible. And guess what? After all the experiments and all the blisters from changing tires, I keep coming back to the same ones, the Continental Grand Prix 5000 STRs. For the too long didn't read crowd, the Grand Prix 5000 STRs have a super low roll-in resistance. They're reliable, they wear well, and they feel great, making them my go-to tire for just about every scenario. And for those who want the deeper dive, let's start with rolling resistance because we all want to go just a little bit faster. Over the years, I've come to trust the tire data and reviews from bicyclerollingresistance.com. Mr. Jarno Bierman has never steered me wrong. They rate the 28mm version with a rolling resistance of 8.5 watts and the 30mm version with a rolling resistance of 8.6 watts. For comparison, that's within 3 watts of the fastest tire tested at 5.6 watts, whereas the slowest tire tested came in at 22.6 watts. With these tires, you can feel the low rolling resistance, especially when coming from other tires. I don't know what it is that they put in this black chili compound, but the GP5000 STRs, much like their predecessors, the GP5000 TLs, they just feel fast, like right out of the box. Today's video is sponsored by Hola, Adios. Hola, Adios is a full-service creative agency that I've used on a handful of projects with great success. Whether it's your personal brand, if you want to start a Shopify store, you're trying to figure out how to sell on Amazon, or just get a basic website, they're the guys you get in touch with after you've tried the DIY routes and you're frustrated with the results, just like I was. I'll drop their info below. Tell them I sent you for 20% off your next project. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. They're also surprisingly reliable, especially considering their low rolling resistance. I'll occasionally ride solo in the mountains well outside of cell service, and the last thing that I want to do is leave the house with a questionable set of tires. And yes, you can make the argument that tubeless is more reliable, but I believe that not all tubeless tires are created equal. I've said before that most tires tend to perform well and remain reliable for the first, 800 to 1,000 miles. Then you start to see the real difference between the good and the great tires. Now, I'm currently riding a set of GP5000 STRs that probably has 4,000 miles on it. The wear indicators are starting to fade, and even though they're starting to age, I haven't had a single puncture over 4,000 miles. They still perform exceptionally well, and I wouldn't hesitate to take them on some kind of like off-the-grid adventure. They just seem to go and go forever. All that, and they still feel really good on the road. They're supple, they grip well, they're predictable, and they're simply a joy to ride. Over the years, I've ridden the 28s at 60 PSI, 30s at 55 PSI, and 32s at 50 PSI. I found them all to feel plenty fast, although I will admit that I have felt the additional weight and maybe an aero penalty when I've gone from 28s to 32s. No matter the size, these tires have a consistent feel, with the comfort increasing as you move up to a wider tire. At the end of the day, there's typically a trade-off. If you want the fastest tire with the lowest rolling resistance, you're gonna sacrifice puncture protection. If you want the best puncture protection, you're gonna end up with a tire that rolls slowly and feels, terrible on the road. And the GP5000 STRs, well, there's little to no trade-off. It's kind of like that perfect intersection between performance, reliability, and longevity. Anyways, after trying more tires than I'd care to admit, and after tens of thousands of miles, this continues to be my tire of choice, the one that I come back to time and time again. It's that one that gets me home safely, and it's the tire that I trust. There used to be this old Michelin tire ad that said, because so much is riding on your tires, and I think that holds true. We put so much trust in that contact point between us and the pavement. If you're looking to save a few watts or you're curious about these tires, I'll post a link to bicyclerollingresistance.com, which has been a huge help for me over the years, and you can compare them to the tires that you're currently riding. I'm continuing to put more miles on the new SRAM Red Explore Access group, as well as the Road group, and I'll be back with more thoughts on those soon. Anyways, until next time.